It's unbelievable to me that people actually think those are the things that are important. We're putting out things, we're sharing things, and we're gonna complain about it, we're not gonna complain about it. Here's a funny thing. You ready for this one? I don't think anybody gives a shit about privacy. You hear that all the time. Everybody wants to debate privacy. Guess what? Let me save you time. Nobody gives a fuck. You know why? Because the number one underrated brand in the world, is us. People are so much better than they're branded. See, network television and traditional media tells you that we suck shit. Because every time you turn on TV and watch the news, we killed somebody, we raped somebody, we punched somebody, we're doing bad stuff. When you look at the data, the amount of bad things that happen in comparison to how many interactions human beings have every day is staggeringly low. Over the last 10 years, the big thing early on was like, this MySpace and Friendster stuff is dangerous. Girls are gonna get raped at the mall. This is bad, all that stuff. Over the last 10 years, crime on children has massively declined. You know why? Because you can't hide. Every person in this room in 2012 is a media company. You whip out your phone and you start recording shit. We are totally living in a different society. The shadows, the darkness of our worlds have nowhere to hide anymore. I mean, listen, I went to my brother-in-law's bachelor party in Vegas. Brother-in-laws. If there's ever a time that you can hit the strip joint, it is during your brother-in-law's bachelor party. And I didn't want to go because I was like, fuck, somebody might see me in a Twitpic. I don't need to deal with this. Our society is changing because everything is on at all times and there's absolutely nowhere to go. The companies that stopped acting like douchebags and think that they can sell you on the first move are going to be the companies that win. It is my firm belief, that in 25 years from now, the majority of corporate America, Fortune 500 CEOs and beyond will be women because dudes are dickheads. But you know what's funny? Girls are dickheads too, because every time I say that, they love clapping that shit up. The reason I think that's true though, guys, is because it's about EQ. See, guys are good at data and conversion and go for the kill, hunting. The future of business is going to be farming and nurturing. See, social media is tough to give you an ROI in the first year because it's not supposed to be about that. See, social media is the good cop to all the bad cop marketing that we do. Social media is the jab that sets up the punch. You don't use a Facebook fan page to push out another coupon or another offer. Sure, you can mix it in, but it surely matters if you actually start listening to the end consumer, if you actually care about them, if you actually talk about stuff they care about. Take the personality of the fan base. We represent brisk iced tea. The fuck do you say if you're brisk iced tea on Twitter? I'm wet? I mean, what do you say? So what did we do? How did we handle the brisk iced tea Twitter account? We looked at the real business data and we saw who our customers were, which were hip hop and urban, and that's what we talk about. You know what the brisk Twitter account talks about? Basketball. You know what the brisk Twitter account talks about? Nicki Minaj's ass. You know what we talk about? Things that our customers actually care about. And because of that, during this year's NBA's draft, even though we had no sponsorship, we were one of the biggest brands talked about on Twitter. And that's because we became their boy. See, what I believe is happening that many people are not recognizing is that we are now living through the beginning of the humanization of business. The way we humanize the pet dog, see, in the 1950s, Spot was outside. Your dog was outside. You know when you brought him in? When there was a fucking flood or a hurricane, you brought him in. Spot now lives in your home. If you look at the data, the dog is an inside animal. You know what else? Spot's ambitious. He doesn't just live in your home, he lives in your bedroom. People don't even let their kids in their bedroom. And Spot lives on your bed. And you know what else? Spot wears better clothes than you do. And eats gourmet food more often than you. We need to communicate. You know why social media can never lose? Because it's like the fashion industry. We wear the clothes we wear. We wear the headband on our head. We wear the boots. We wear the sweaters. We wear the clothes that we wear because we want to communicate something about ourselves. It is inherently what we do. It's why fashion's a quadrillion-dollar industry. And that is why social media is going to work as well. We, even the most introverted ones of us, the ones that stay in the room all day, we still need to communicate. We are that kind of animal. It is how we live our lives. And that's what social is going to allow us to do. And we're going to talk about everything. We're going to consume it. We're going to create context. And then we're going to have relationships. The reason any one of you will pay more money for something is only two reasons. One, convenience. It's close to you, it's on the way, you don't have time. We're lazy. And 2, context. Your boy works there. Your brother worked there. Your mom worked there for 20 years. Context and convenience. And my belief is that every business here, and when you guys go out into the real world and go and start working for companies, and they're gonna look at you and be like, you're young, you should know what to do with Facebook, instead of blowing it and using it to like just jerk around all day and want to actually make a career or make some money because of it. You need to realize that the end customer has always been the game. But when we moved from small towns into the suburbs and we fragmented and we lost our collective willpower, we got hosed. Did you guys hear about this Bank of America thing where they wanted to charge $5 for you to have an ATM card? Guess what? They rescinded it yesterday. I promise you, if they did that in 1996, they wouldn't have rescinded shit. Because the 3 or 4 people that could have wrote media about it would have, and it might have caused some uproar, but now the collective people, the Occupy Wall Street thing, Egypt, all this stuff now has such a bigger voice than it's ever had before. Our collective power as people is massively higher, and businesses are going to figure it out. And the ones that continue to just want to convert and think they're going to market to you and trick you into buying their shit are going to lose. You've got to create great products because, oh, by the way, you know what Apple's social media strategy is? Make great shit. So content is king. Content is king. You make great stuff, you can win. But context is a religion. Context is the future word, the marketing word that's gonna matter. Because it doesn't matter how many followers or people you have on your fan page. It's how many give a crap and will convert. You can have 1 million fans, but if you keep pounding them with a bunch of garbage, they're not gonna convert when you come asking. The reason my first book, Crush It, sold so well was because I paid forward. I basically guilted everybody into buying my book. Because for 2 years, I just answered their questions. And do you know how fun it is to answer what wine goes with fish 63,000 times in your life? It sucks shit. But I did it because I wanted to create one-on-one context with as many people as possible. Context is the game. I'm speaking here today for one reason, context. You guys have no money, you can't buy my book. I'm here for one reason, to have a relationship with you guys for the rest of my life. Today we created some sort of context. Some people drove a shitload of hours to be here and I created context with them on Twitter, so I feel more for these dudes than I do for you assholes because I was talking with them 4 hours ago. But now I feel more for you. I like the bandana with the J's guy and I keep doing it. And then some of you are gonna come up and we're gonna shake hands, a picture, whatever, and there's more context. And then I'm gonna leave and find some of you mention me on Facebook and Twitter and I'm gonna say thanks for being there, and then that creates more context. The context ladder. The shit that I would do for my mother is everything. The whole kit and caboodle. She texted me right now and said, come home, I'm out like shout. But the things that I would do for my brother, pretty close to that. Best friend, a good chunk below my family. Solid acquaintances, a good amount. These dudes said, can you get me a water because of the little context we made? I might be like, hell yeah. If Jay's dude said, get me a water, I'd be like, fuck you, get your own, because there's no context. And it is my belief that if businesses can create context, you'll feel guilty when you go into 7-Eleven because you just spent 2 hours talking to Pepsi about skateboarding and you just might grab a Pepsi because that's how marketing works. Those impressions in your brain convert. And the companies that have the biggest heart, not the biggest wallet, are gonna be the companies that win.